With the unprecedented success of Eric July's Rippaverse, raising over $3 million, and bringing in potentially tens of thousands of new readers into comic books. I mean, we don't know, and selling tens of thousands more copies himself. With this massive new influx of fans will undoubtedly come with creators. So he may have inadvertently sparked off a new gold rush on independent comics. That's actually what the last 4 years has been like. It's been like a building up to this point, a gold rush, and now Eric July has he's struck it big. He struck the big gold vein out in the mountain, and now everyone's talking about this massive boon. So that being the case, this whole space, crowdfunding on the internet, on YouTube, it's only going to get more intense here on out. So we've seen hundreds and hundreds of new people come into this space over the last 4 years, and I feel like we're going to see hundreds and hundreds more in the coming years. Now, who am I to talk about this? Well, let me show you. For anyone who's watching these videos, and I know a lot of you are new to this channel, you're at least 30% of you watching these videos have probably never heard of me before. I'm the creator of The Lucent Waking Dream. This came out a couple of years ago. Fulfilled that, sold that, 1,000 backers. Incredible. How did I do that from coming from nowhere? When I started this, I had a few hundred Twitter followers. I had maybe 100 or so YouTube subscribers. Well, it was through selling on YouTube. And that's how this incredible achievement happened here. I have a new book that I'm currently working on that will be launching soon. It's called Painted Death. Please do sign up if you like the look of it. Over 850 signups already. And this is my channel here. This is Michael Bancroft. I've been doing streams now for I think it's 2 years, doing multiple streams a week, a whole bunch of videos. I've recently just gotten back into these short form videos, which are doing really well for the channel. But the whole business here is selling comics through YouTube, and we've done incredibly well. This guy here, Reaper Destroyer, we did recently. We launched his book. He made like $20,000 in the first 24 hours. A first timer, never really sold a professional quality comic book before. And also, I mean, just to toot my own horn a little bit. Here's Indiegogo, the crowdfunding platform, shows that you get a little number attached to your links that you put out. Here's just a small list of the recent referrals that I've gotten here. You can go check that out on my profile page there. But yeah, that's what I do. I'm in the business of selling comics on YouTube. I feel like I have a little bit of experience now. I feel like I've learned some things, got some notches under my belt, and I've got some wisdom to impart, hopefully. And yeah, so look, the way I see it, selling comics on YouTube, it comes down to three fundamental elements. I'm going to do the first element here in this video, and then probably do the rest in another two, maybe in another video, I don't know, but we'll see how long it takes. Here are the three elements as I see them. The three keys to selling comic books on YouTube. One, how far your reach goes, or in other words, how big your audience is. Two, how appealing your comic is. And three, how invested your audience that you've built is in what you're doing. And that's it. Like you get all those three down, you are set. If any one of those three is lacking, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And I think I'm going to hope to show you that and explain that to you in this video and the next, possibly another one. We'll see. Now, I'm not saying that you can't go the traditional route. You can't, go through the stores and the catalogs and the cons. Everyone should be building a mailing list. I think do all of that stuff. Yes. This video, we're going to focus on about the selling on YouTube. In a perfect world, would do all of these things. But, this one we're going to focus on this topic because this is the one I know most about. I've never even been to a con. All right, so growing your audience, part one. As far as I see it, there's sort of like three stratas of having a presence on YouTube as a comic book creator. The first one would be you appear on other people's channels from time to time whenever it comes time to sell your book. That's sort of most of the time when you're active. We know a lot of creators out there who are like this. And yeah, some of them do quite well, some of them do not so well. Really depends on who they are and what channels that they appear on. So either way, this sort of level, it's very iffy. I mean, it's better than nothing. It's the bare minimum, better than nothing. But you really are at the behest of someone else. Someone else has to let you on their channel. You're not a regular. They've got to agree to it. They've got to want to promote it. Maybe they promoted you last time. They don't like the look of the new book. It's very up in the air. And then on top of that, you will be selling your comic to an audience that potentially doesn't know you. This is the first time they've ever seen you. And yeah, we'll get into that side of things in the later video. But yeah, so that's the first strata. The second level would be you're a co-host, you're a regular co-host on someone else's channel, or maybe yeah, I mean, that's usually because I don't want to get to having your own channel yet. So yeah, you're a regular co-host on, maybe there's a panel show, maybe you do videos together. I don't know what it is. It's not your channel. You don't get to control it. You don't get to drive it. You just come onto it every, a couple of times a week and you're part of it. So at least that's better. That's better because people get to know you a little bit more. They get to see you. They can become more invested in you. But it's still not as good as the top tier, which to me is having your own channel. And it's been said that it's like having your own, you're the only teenager in the area who has his own car. You get all the control. You get to drive around whenever you want. You get to take that baby out for a spin at your leisure. And it is the best. You get to control you get to control the content you're making to a certain extent. You get to control the type of audience that you build. So yeah, that is the most that's the top tier. Now, just because you have another channel doesn't mean you can go out to other channels. Absolutely should. I actually do all three of that. I will appear as a guest on other people's shows from time to time. I'm a regular co-host on other people's shows, and I build my own channel. So yeah, I think it's like but yeah, that's the way, that's the landscape as I see it. And but now, like, I want to get into building a channel. Say, okay, so you decide, okay, I want to have a channel. What do I do? How do I do it? There's so much confusion and disagreement surrounding this. And I'm not kind of coming here and say that this is the one way to do it. But these are the things that I've learned. These have been my experiences over the last couple of years doing this. Number one, consistency is more important than quality. It's taken me a long time to figure that out. I really struggled when I started. I wanted to make these really super polished professional things, and I didn't really have the capability, but I was trying at least. And all that was happening, I was taking a lot of time, and I didn't need to do that. People aren't looking for a replacement to some high-end studio. They're just looking for a person. They're looking for authenticity. They're looking for authenticity over polish. That's why I've really been enjoying doing these just free form discussions. I've got some bullet points here, but I haven't written a script out. It's just get on there, get a video out, and get it done. And yeah, that way you can put out more content, as opposed to super edited with all these bells and whistles and everything. We've seen lots of people grow their channels to huge levels doing it like that. And I think that's more accessible to your average Joe Blow out there who's at the same time trying to make a comic book as well. But yeah, people want to be entertained. Remember that first and foremost. They either want to be entertained, they also want to be inspired, they also want to be informed. All these things are things you can think about, and maybe tailor that to what best suits your personality. They don't want lectures, they don't want insults, and they don't want your judgment. They're not looking for any of that. So keep that out of whatever you're making in your content. And as an extension to that, never let what happens on YouTube get to you personally. I found a lot of people fall into that trap. It never works out for them well. Even when you're right, even when you're 100% in the right, if you get into a big legitimate argument with another YouTuber or even worse, fans, it doesn't work out well. You know, people will take sides, people will leave, you'll lose subs, you'll lose interest. The moment it stops being fun for you, your audience is going to pick up on that. I have a rule around here. It's called the golden rule, and it's just have fun. That's it. And you know, even when you're discussing heavy topics, or even when if you're like you don't like something, come at it from a point of fun. Laugh at something you don't like. You don't have to get angry. That's that's my golden rule. If something isn't working, if your channel isn't growing, try something new. For the love of God, try something new. If you've been sitting on streams with less than 10 people in it for 2 years now, please try something new. Don't get stuck in a rut. I've been there myself. Built up the channel, had 50 people watching in a live stream, and then I went back down. We had about 18. I was like, all right, obviously what I'm doing is not entertaining enough. It's not informing enough. I'm not inspiring enough people. Shake it up. That's what I did. And, you know, I had a stream the other day with 300 people in it. Unbelievable. Still very rare. Get back there one day, hopefully. But yeah, just don't get stuck in a rut, guys. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and try something new. Your channel, it's like a garden, okay? And as the owner of that channel, you're out there planting seeds. Just be mindful of the seeds that you're planting. Yeah. Because the audience that you're going to end up with, that's like the fruit in your garden. See my amazing analogy. Yeah, and you don't get to, this is the thing, like you don't get to decide after the fact. You've worked in this garden, you've toiled for years, you've planted your seeds, it's all grown. You didn't get to decide after the fact that, oh, hang on, I wanted a different fruit. It doesn't work like that. The only way you're going to get a different fruit is if you rip out everything, tear down that garden, and start again. Be careful. You know, if you build your channel on drama and you don't like drama, oops, you're stuck. That's what you got. So yeah, be mindful of that. And that leads into other things. Okay, so this also leads into whether you're going to do streams or whether you're going to do videos or both. Now, you can do one, the other, both. Just be aware of how they affect each other if you are going to do both. This has caught a lot of channels like up real bad. They can't grow their channels anymore because they started their channels putting out one thing, say short videos on a certain topic, a certain kind of videos, and then they stopped that, switched to live streams, and all of a sudden they're getting unsubs. Don't be surprised if that happens. The people who came to your channel, who subscribed to you, came there for those videos. Now you're trying to give them something completely different. And every time you do that, it's just another notification on their screen to remind them to unsub from you. Just be mindful of that when you're building a channel. I always recommend everyone specializes. Make your channel. If your channel is about comics, talk about comics. If your channel is about comics and you get into gaming or movies or whatever, each time you do that, it's an opportunity. You're thinking, oh, I'm going to reach out to people who like this and that. Yes, maybe. There are massive channels out there covering gaming. Why wouldn't they watch them instead? You know, each time you do that, you may just be turning people away. That's you got to think about it as a viewer. That's why a lot of these big channels, they actually unlist their streams after they're finished, because that's not why the majority of their audience are sub to them. Their core base audience loves watching the streams. But yeah, if you just fill your subscribers' feed with things that they don't want, they're going to unsub, or at least they're going to check out. Now, I don't have to do that because I actually built this channel mostly on streaming against all sort of recommendation. channel continued to grow, doing regular 1 hour streams at the same time, at the same days, consistently, and they were focused. And also because when they're 1 hour streams, they have a certain pace to them that I find other streams don't have. But every time you post a gaming video on a comic book channel, people will unsub or they'll check out. And that's how it works. Now there are ways around this because there are channels that do cover a whole gamut of things. And a really good way is like you gotta look at things through a certain lens. A lot of people in this space, it's the culture war. We can look at all these things through a lens. So the audience is there more for the culture war, and they're interested. I mean, everyone's interested in movies and TV shows and comics and all that sort of stuff. But if you focus on, say, if you do it through a single lens, you can get away with it. So yeah, I know that some of this advice might sound a little bit contradictory, but it's the key is in the subtleties here. With very little, but going back to my own personal experience, with very little deviation, this channel has been focused on crowdfunding comics. And for that reason, it's been slow going. We've been growing. It's great. I couldn't be happier, really. But it is slow going because crowdfunding comics is a niche within a niche within a niche. So, a much faster option would have been if I had have talked about popular topics, chase the algorithm, see what's hot out there. And I know a lot of people do that, and they do. It works very well for them. You just also have to be mindful as to like why you're doing what you're doing. What audience are you building when you do that? Yes, you may get hundreds of thousands of subs and everything. The further away you deviate from comics, though, it's going to make it harder to convert your subscribers into backers. And I think we saw that with Ripper. He does cover a lot of topics through the lens of sort of his libertarian politics and the culture war and cancel culture and everything. But he's always surrounded himself with comics. He's always sort of brought that in. So he always still cultivated that audience. Now, other YouTubers haven't done that. They've just purely sort of focused on culture war stuff or something, I don't know, gaming or whatever. And then they've tried to get into comics, and they've done well because if you've got millions of people watching your channel every month, you're gonna do okay. You're gonna do quite well. Probably gonna hit six figures. But you didn't hit 3 million in 2 weeks. See the difference? So yeah. Look, but as for me, bring it back to me. So even though here on this channel we're very modest, we really pack a punch here, and we're able to massively help campaigns, the huge launches. Now at this point, we had one I talked about earlier, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in an hour. I mean, that's crazy. Look at the sub count. It's like 3,000. It doesn't seem like that would work, but it does work. We've got a meme here on this channel. When people come on to promote their books, they're looking for the Bancroft bump. And I love that, and I cultivate that. I should actually make an emoji for the Bancroft bump. Why haven't I done that yet? So yeah, the people who are subbed to this channel, they back crowdfunds. And that's exactly how I planned it, how I wanted it, and how it is. That's because I built my own channel. I was able to drive that. And as a creator who's crowdfunding his own books, really couldn't get more invaluable. So that's it. They're my ideas on growing your audience to sell comic books on YouTube. In the next video to this, I'll be talking about what was the other one here? How appealing your book is, like the actual art and the writing and everything. And then lastly, how invested your audience is in said comic. But guys, if you like this video, like it, give it a like, do that thumbs up, subscribe. What's the other one? Consider becoming a member. Talking about making comics, you guys who are members are actually paying for the creation of new comic books. So I can't thank you enough. Also follow me on Twitter @TheLucentComic, and I will see you next time. All right, guys, bye.